It is encouraging to have the opportunity to practice as a PA under the new optimal team practice policy. Bro, learning about that and talking to my mentor about that, that was a game changer. That was a game changer because they're like, oh, all right, he knows what OTP is. He knows that this PA profession is headed that way. And it's encouraging because I want to be able to practice under that. And so they're going to be like, all right, he's done his research. All right. What's going on, fam? Hope y'all are doing well, staying safe, grinding towards your goals, staying hungry for success. Because you know what time it is? It's time to eat. Let's get it. Let's get it.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Alright, y'all already know who it is. It's your favorite Cambodian rap PA, aka Mr. I'm about to let you read my personal statement. So this is what we're about to do. We're gonna go through my first draft of my second personal statement, if that makes sense. Some of y'all might know, but I applied twice to PA school. First time around, it was bad. But the second time around, I had a draft. So we're gonna go through that first draft, and then, after some editing, after some sending to some mentors and people to read, friends, and even my PA resource, I had an amazing personal statement. So shout out to my PA resource, and they are actually the sponsor of this video. So if y'all need help getting your personal statement to where you want it to be, I highly recommend y'all go the my PA resource route. I have a promo code for y'all. It's gonna be right here. Make sure you utilize it to save some dough. And if y'all want me to edit your personal statement via my PA resource, make sure you let them know, hey, shoot this to Aaron. I want him to edit it. Boom, I got you, fam. I got you. Just want to, pay it forward and help y'all out and get y'all into PA school. This is an investment in yourself and your application. If you don't get in this year, you're wasting a whole year. And just off of your personal statement, I've seen people who have a great application. Stats are amazing, grades are good, hours they got plenty, but their personal statement is horrible and they didn't get in. Versus I had some people who had an amazing personal statement and mediocre grades and hours and whatnot, but they got in. So this is your one chance to shine. This is your opportunity to make your personal statement stand out, make your application stand out. I'm gonna go through some tips. That's gonna be in another video, but for right now, we're gonna go through this personal statement of mine, and we'll see how it goes. Oh no, Hunro is down. My Nike gloves enclosed my opponent's flags as I lay prone on the torn up turf. I gauged my chin where the receiver's cleat struck. It was difficult to accurately assess how much blood I lost since my gloves were red. Presumably it was enough for me to be escorted out of the game and off the field. I was uninterested in the laceration, instead anxious with wanting to help my team secure a championship berth. The feeling of watching from the sidelines instead of pouring ample effort into playing was something that was difficult to stomach. This warranted a trip to Riverside Community Hospital's emergency department where I saw a physician assistant, PA. We connected over football, and even more when I told him that my dad was also a PA and my intentions of entering the medical field. He reassured me that the steri strips would be suffice in closing the chin laceration, though a scar was inevitable. A week later, I was back on the field in time for the championship game. Several scars, and years later, I am eager to get out on the field, but instead of football, this time, the field of medicine. My scars and injuries parallel my path of becoming a PA. Through life's tough obstacles, lessons, and experiences, I am more motivated and driven to become a compassionate, humble, and resilient PA candidate. Now, right off the bat, if I was editing my personal statement, I would just say, this is a great story, but it's just way too wordy. There's too many minor details that don't really tell me too much. It's kind of like, all right, hurry up and get to the point, right? So, the things that were important were, all right, I got hit in the chin. I got a cut that took me out of the game, and I wanted to be out on the field with my teammates. I couldn't, and I went to the ER and met this PA who, cleaned up my wound and put steri strips on it. we connected, and I was back in time for the football game and all that. And then also, talking about like, my parallels of the scars and the injuries and my path to becoming a PA. I thought, that was a good theme, and I was trying to utilize that theme to go throughout the whole essay. But yeah, again, it was just way too wordy. So let's hop into the second. Intriguingly, medicine has provided me the same adrenaline rush as football. That was pretty good. Those few times scrubbing in for the operating room and seeing patients line up along the dirt road in Honduras all equate that feeling of lacing cleats up, putting my jersey over my head, and hearing the crowd roar. Each patient encounter in Honduras with my Global Medical Brigade's teammate was like a football game. It was not about the disease or the other team we were playing, but rather the patients and the effort we put in as a team. As a returning member with past medical experience and conversational Spanish knowledge, many of my volunteers looked to me for guidance, inspiration, and translation. I was able to help prepare our 40 volunteers to take blood pressure, glucose levels, as well as starting chief complaints and symptoms in Spanish. Okay, my knowledge now, and just looking at this, I feel this way with a lot of pre-PA essays that I read. Like, we think we know medical stuff, but we don't really know medical stuff, and it's kind of cringy. So it was kind of cringy reading what I wrote right there. But anyway, from the delicate 84-year-old grandmother to the vomiting toddler, every patient I met was so grateful for any amount of care received at our free clinic. I enjoyed this, but at the same time, it was frustrating to not be able to contribute even more. It felt identical to watching my teammates from the sideline. Boom! That reoccurring theme, bro. That theme, it was just like, I was already a genius about it, but I was just word vomiting too much. So let's continue. However, in my 2 trips to rural Honduras, we served over 1,000 patients with basic health services, opening my eyes to the unfortunate healthcare gap and the need for more compassionate care. All right. So again, I have that parallel theme, right? The football preparation, game, team, for camaraderie, contribution, that theme paralleling with, my Honduras experience with Global Medical Brigades, with my teammates, with my volunteers, and, me being like that veteran there, teaching them Spanish, teaching them how to take vitals and stuff like that. Like, it was great for me to parallel and connect those two, but I think, again, it was just way too wordy. It didn't tell too much. I felt like this was reiterating too much of a resume as opposed to like telling them what I took out of that experience and like how it's gonna contribute and build to my future as a PA. You always have to connect, like, all right, I did X, Y, and Z. This will benefit me becoming a PA in the future because ABC, right? So make sure, you're always connecting it. These characters, it's 5,000 characters. You have to make every single character count. And for some cases, I wasted way too much character space, just with the minute details. The lack of access to healthcare I saw in Honduras reminded me of those who were less fortunate in Cambodia and underserved communities in Southern California. This health disparity fuels me to get into the field of medicine much sooner. PA, right? We're getting into the field much sooner. But let me see what else I typed out. As a medical assistant and scribe, I felt restricted in terms of scope of practice. Boom. That is also a very key point. You're contributing to society and to the medical field in whatever, position that you're in, EMT, medical assistant, scribe, nurse, whatever, but you feel restricted in terms of your scope of practice and you want to go further and do more, right? So that's why, let's see what else I say in this paragraph. This is why I have higher affinity towards PA school than medical school. PA school is shorter in duration than medical school, but it is reassuring that I will be trained under the same medical model identical to my physician teammates with continuing medical education. I will be able to practice medicine with integrity, sincerity, and compassion like the PAs whom I have shadowed and worked alongside. Good, but honestly, I wouldn't have brought up the medical school aspect because it's not like I said anything negative about the profession, and that's rule number one. Like, don't ever talk bad about any profession. NPs, MDs, DOs, nothing. And especially the PA profession. Why would you write a PA school essay and talk bad about PAs, right? It makes no sense, and I've seen it sometimes. So you're not talking about anything, and I honestly should not have even brought up like, oh, it's shorter training than medical school. But nah, like, leave that out. If anything, you're gonna talk more about the PA profession and why you have that affinity towards this, and not, oh, I don't have an affinity towards this, right? You get what I'm saying? So you talk more about why you want to do something, not why you don't want to do the other career. It is encouraging to have the opportunity to work autonomously as a PA while still being able to consult my supervising physician if necessary. One instance in which I collaborated with the pediatrician I scribed for was when we tried to find an association between exclusively breastfed infants and atopic dermatitis. She tasked me with seeking up-to-date research articles and knowledge as well as patient history to try and piece the puzzle so that we could deliver a reasonable and effective treatment plan. This was exciting to be able to think critically and utilize proper tools and resources to deliver excellent patient care. I hope to serve my future patients and practice collaborative evidence-based medicine along my physician colleagues. All right, so this was a great aspect of further education, continued education, trying to be innovative and use evidence-based practice. But I probably should have picked a stronger example for that PA physician collaboration. But at the time I was just a scribe, so for me, I felt like that was a weak paragraph that I definitely could have worked on. But I think it was just kind of like I was scratching the surface a little bit. It definitely had a lot more potential. Similar to PAs in healthcare teams, I have been the team captain and go-to player that my team depended on, as well as the role player who can contribute on a smaller scale. Like in football, I will embrace the pressure of utilizing my skills when called upon. There will be times that I will be the decisions maker, diagnosing and treating or referring. So I get it, but I could have definitely said that in one sentence, and it was a little too much to have been like, oh yeah, I was also team captain. So also shout outs to my football teammates. I still have this from college. Shout outs to Katrina for sending that over to me during I think that's when I was moving up to the Bay. But anyway, so it was just kind of like, you get it, you're able to make the decision, you're also work autonomously, make your own decisions, but at the same time contribute as a role player. It's a great thought, but I should have just trimmed it up. Football developed my leadership skills, teamwork, passion, and ability to adapt quickly. Clutch for PAs, right? Learning from other PAs and providers taught me the importance of communication and devotion to humanity. Helping the underserved populations brought empathy and increased my experience with diverse populations. So, just tying everything back in together, right? Since my last scar of being rejected from PA programs last cycle, that was a good one. I've increased my patient care and healthcare experience by over 1,000 hours. I received a 3.9 GPA in my last 7 courses that include microbiology, pathophysiology, pharmacology, and medical terminology. These enriching experiences and obstacles continue to expand my capacity and confidence of becoming a PA. I want to be able to sometimes cure, often treat, and always comfort my future patients. This is why I see myself on the field with the healthcare team as a PA. Not bad. I thought that was a pretty good conclusion, but the draft that I sent in, much different than that. I liked how I talked about my improvement. I didn't say like, oh, I have a really bad science GPA. No, I went ahead and said, look, I got this scar from like getting cleated in the chin by all these PA programs last cycle, but I've increased my patient care experience, healthcare experience by a concrete detail, which is my thousands of hours, and received a 3.9 GPA in my last 7 courses, and then again gave them a concrete detail to back my claim and support my this was my supporting evidence. I took classes that were X, Y, and Z. The thing that I should have changed and really emphasized was like these courses would so I said like these enriching experiences and obstacles continue to expand my capacity and confidence of becoming a PA. What I should have said was these courses help build a stronger foundation for myself during didactic year and in the future. You get what I'm saying? So you're showing them like, look, I did X, Y, and Z, and this is why it's going to be beneficial, especially in the future as a PA student, especially in the future as a PA. That whole line about like I wanted to be able to sometimes cure, often treat, and always comfort my future patients, I think that was like an Instagram line. Like honestly, that was so cliche. All right, so without further ado, let's hop into my personal statement that I actually did submit. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and read this new personal statement, the one that I actually submitted and got accepted with. Oh no, Hunro is down. My opponent's flags were fully grasped in one glove as I lay on the torn up turf. My other glove was blood-stained after I assessed my chin where the receiver's cleats struck. So I think automatically right now, like it's better because it has more imagery and it's a lot shorter than the first one. It was difficult to accurately see how much blood I was losing. Presumably, it was enough not only for me to be escorted off the field, but also to warrant a visit to Riverside Community Hospital's emergency department, where a physician assistant, PA, cared for my wounds. See, all that mumbo jumbo, like word vomit from the first draft got trimmed down, and it already tells, a much better story, a lot more cohesive and concise story. The PA and I connected over football, and we did even more when I told him about my intention to enter the medical field as a PA like my father. Boom. That flowed so much better. All right. The feeling of watching my team playing from the sidelines instead of playing with them was difficult to stomach. Thankfully, I was back on the field in time for the championships. Again, just everything just flows so much better. All right, several years and a few scars later, I am more eager to get onto a field, but this time not a football field, rather the field of medicine. My scars and injuries parallel my path of becoming a PA. There's that theme again. Through life's tough obstacles, lessons, and experiences, I am more motivated and driven to become a humble and resilient PA candidate. There you go. Initially, medicine seemingly provided me the same adrenaline rush as football. Preparing for our Global Medical Brigade's mission to rural Honduras was similar to preparing for a football game because it required the same thorough preparation, dedication, and teamwork. So there I am just comparing the two, my passion of football and that teamwork and dedication that came with it, along with this medical mission with my other teammates that I was able to go along with. As a returning volunteer with healthcare experience and conversational Spanish ability, so I'm already planting the seeds that I know Spanish, that I had some experience prior. Many of my fellow volunteers turned to me for guidance and help with translation. We provided basic healthcare services to over 1,000 patients. To over 1,000 patients. To over 1,000 patients. All right, there you go. The overall experiences were immensely rewarding and humbling. I would say I don't think that was necessary to say, because it's already assumed that it's rewarding and humbling, but I think that it was too abstract. It didn't really give too much detail, but I think I saved myself in the rest of the paragraph. From the delicate 84-year-old grandmother to the vomiting toddler, every patient we met was grateful for the care they received at our free clinic. While I enjoyed the emotional rewards, I felt frustrated. Okay, there you go. So I could have taken out the whole overall experiences were immensely rewarding and humbling thing, because I talked about it here. While I enjoyed the emotional rewards, I felt frustrated and helpless for not being able to do more clinically. Not just not do more, but do more clinically. That's key, especially because I want to become a PA, to be able to do more clinically. It was like watching my teammates from the sideline again. just that whole connection, that whole theme. I left that in there, so I'm glad I did. My participation in these 2 medical missions made me more aware of the inadequate access to healthcare. That is when I realized that my initial adrenaline rush was actually a calling. So, connecting back from this first sentence right here, initially, medicine seemingly provided me the same adrenaline rush as football. It's adrenaline rush, right? But now it's actually a calling. So it's like I'm showing them like, hey, this is where I want to be. I don't want to be a pro football player, NFL teams. I'm just kidding. I definitely would not have played football pro. My trips to Honduras were partially inspired by the experiences that my father shared with me after his return from medical missions to Cambodia and Haiti. He joined 4 missions not only as a volunteer, but once as a medical director, leading a team of about 100 medical volunteers, something that I also hope to do in the future. If I did not add this, then that would have been detrimental to my application, to my essay, essentially, talking about my father, him being a PA, and what he did as a PA with these medical missions. But it was this part right here when I said, this is something I hope to do in the future. So this kind of correlates to when a lot of my mentees or people, when I'm reading their personal statement, when they're saying like, I saw PA John do X, Y, and Z, and he really cared for this patient and was passionate and compassionate and empathetic, blah blah blah, and then they leave it at that, and it's like, great for PA John, but what does that have to do with you, right? So for me to relate, and this is why it's crucial for somebody who wrote about PA John to be like, this is also something I hope to do in the future. I hope to emulate what PA John did. I hope to do X, Y, and Z, what this PA did, what I saw, so what I was able to do with, what my father did. So this fueled my desire to do similar work, not only internationally, but also locally, to provide healthcare to medically underserved communities together. This healthcare access disparity and my desire to help alleviate it fuel me to get into the field of medicine much sooner. So remember that whole thing where it's like, I want to get into medicine sooner. Nah, like this is why I want to get in sooner, because there's that healthcare access disparity, because I want to alleviate it, and that fuels me to get in much sooner. So here we go, continuing on. As a medical assistant, a scribe, and non-clinician volunteer, I feel inadequate in terms of clinical abilities. So I always like that first draft, I was like, I felt inadequate, or I felt like I couldn't do much in terms of scope of practice. This sums it all up, less words, and is a lot more powerful. I feel inadequate in terms of clinical abilities. Like as a PA, I can do way more than what I ever did as a medical assistant, as a scribe, or a non-clinician volunteer. This is why I have a stronger affinity towards becoming a PA than a physician. So I guess I did leave that a little bit, but I took out a lot of the other stuff about like, med school being longer, blah blah blah. So the PA training is shorter, yet it is still reassuring that I will be trained under the same medical model as my physician colleagues. So I still did talk about, but again, it was never like I want to do this because I don't want to do that. It was more so, I get to do this, and cool, I actually get to learn some of the medical models, things that my physician colleagues are able to do. I will be able to practice medicine with competence and compassion like the PAs whom I have shadowed and worked alongside. So did Aaron shadow? Check, I did shadow. So you don't have to spend a whole paragraph about explaining, PA Carly, I shadowed her for X amount of years in her primary care office doing X, Y, and Z. They're already going to see that in the CASPA application. Like, save the personal statement space for your personal statement. I don't want to know about PA Carly. I don't want to know about my dad as a PA. I don't want to know about PA John. I don't want to know about PA X, Y, and Z. I want to know about you. If they did something, tell me what they did, but then how it related to you and how you got inspired by it, and how it how you hope to be like that, or you don't want to be like that, whatever it may be. It is encouraging to have the opportunity to practice as a PA under the new optimal team practice policy. Bro, learning about that and talking to my mentor about that, that was a game changer. That was a game changer, because they're like, oh, all right, he knows what OTP is. He knows that this PA profession is headed that way. And it's encouraging because I want to be able to practice under that. And so they're going to be like, all right, he's done his research. All right. So while still being able to consult my supervising physician if necessary. Awesome. All right. So I experienced a similar opportunity when I had been scribing for a pediatrician. We tried to find an association between exclusively breastfed infants and atopic dermatitis. I was tasked with seeking up-to-date research articles and knowledge, as well as patient history, to try and piece the puzzle together so that we could deliver a reasonable and effective treatment plan. It was exciting to be able to think critically and utilize proper tools and resources to deliver excellent patient care. Like in football, you see this connection? This theme doesn't go away. I intertwined it all throughout this whole essay. I will embrace the pressure of utilizing my skills when called upon. Okay, remember that whole thing where I was like, oh, team captain, sometimes I played a smaller role, blah, blah, blah. No. I will embrace the pressure of utilizing my skills when called upon, period. In football, as a PA, regardless. That sentence right there just sums everything up perfectly. Oh, get off me, son. Oh. My involvement in football, both as a player and youth coach. Oh, Aaron coached. Great, now I know this too. Developed leadership skills. Oh, leadership skills. Check. Teamwork and ability to adapt quickly. Again, traits that are necessary for PAs. Leadership skills, teamwork, ability to adapt quickly. And what did I say? Traits that are necessary for PAs in the healthcare team. Team. We are a team. We're not a solo PA. We work as a vital member of the healthcare team. Okay? Don't you ever forget that. Patient advocacy for the profession. Teamwork. There's no I in team. There's no PA in team. There's a TEAM in team. All right. My exposure to PAs, other providers, and the healthcare field in general taught me the importance of collaboration and dedication. There you go. My experiences in helping diverse, underserved populations have helped me become more empathetic. These enriching experiences have created a deep-seated life passion for the PA profession. Man, I wasn't just talking out of my, you know what? These enriching experiences have created a deep-seated life passion for the PA profession. I'm about that life, fam. I am about it. I'm about it. Come on now, man. I wear it. I vlog about it. I breathe it, man. Come on now. That's my point. Be about your personal statement. If you're all about the underserved populations and, talking about it, right? You better have backed it up. You better have done things with underserved populations. If you have a affinity towards primary care, you better have done something in primary care. You better have worked, shadowed, or whatever in primary care, both. Right? So don't be talking about like, all right, I want to go to this primary care program, and I'm all about the underserved and, doing primary care and stuff like that, when you did nothing in that specialty and you get into that school and you just go off and do, like, I don't know, aesthetic medicine. No knock on anybody doing aesthetic medicine, but it's just like, don't be about that life. If you're not about that life, don't talk about it, right? Me, when I'm talking about, like, all right, all the Spanish speaking patients that I was able to see in Honduras and, underserved populations, I'm seeing Spanish patients right now. I speak in Spanish to my patients. Like, I'm about that life. Don't BS stuff on your personal statement if you're not about it. People will know and they'll see it, and they'll see, like, hey, this person's talking about this on their personal statement. but I don't see anything about it on their application. That's like the number one way for you. That and saying physician's assistant, that those two things will get you an automatic rejection. Like, don't do that. Don't just put it on your personal statement if you're not about that life. So that's my rant, my side rant. All right, so these enriching experiences have created a deep-seated passion for the PA profession. Practicing collaborative, evidence-based medicine along my physician team members, I hope to sometimes cure, often treat, and always comfort my future patients. So I did leave that cliche Instagram caption thing. All right, whatever. But I did add, the collaborative, evidence-based medicine thing along with my team. All right. As a PA, I am determined to not only be a great clinician, but also a compassionate humanitarian. I try to be compassionate humanitarian. It's a work in progress. I'm more of a caring asshole, but it is what it is. But anyway, I hope y'all found this video helpful going through my personal statement, my first draft and my second draft. If you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I got so much more content for you. If y'all need help with that personal statement stuff, links are in the description below. My PA resource has a free personal statement workshop. If y'all need a discount code, use this one right here. Save you some money. And if y'all want me to edit your personal statement via my PA resource, hit me up and I'll facilitate it and make it happen. So best of luck to y'all. I hope this video helped. I really hope your personal statement is as best as you can make it. I hope you get into your dream program like I did. I really can't emphasize that enough. Like, I've seen so many of my PA student colleagues be bitter about the program that they're at because they didn't get into their top choice and they just got into one program and they're just like, I'm just gonna go. No, do the best that you can, especially with this personal statement right here, that the best that you can to get yourself in the position to be at your top choice program. Like, that's what it's about. So anyway, hope y'all stay safe. Keep grinding, keep hustling towards your goals. And you know what? I'm about to be like Ludacris and roll out.